Coming to you live just outside virtual Los Angeles, California at the Auto Club Speedway, soon to be completely renovated and changed into a short track. Tonight in the SunStar Dental 200 final race in round one of the inaugural SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs. Here we're kicking it off with a 2-mile multi-lane progressively banked racetrack. It's gonna be a crazy race tonight.
Oh, yes, sir. Here, last race of round number one here in the SimRacerHub.com playoffs. This is cut time, but here in the land where Chuck Taylor's preside, we pour a little out for the homie that is Auto Club here tonight. Tyler, we get another run at this awesome track. We're going to see 4 wide and 5 wide racing here tonight.
Yeah, one of the widest racetracks on the NASCAR circuit, at least for this past year in real life. But here tonight in the virtual sense, it will be still the widest track. And we're seeing a lot of drivers struggle with the handling of their trucks here on their opening qualifying lap. I've seen Nathan Maurer, Robbie Richards, Sean Hamilton, and more wreck off of turn number 2, trying to put down a hot lap in qualifying. And then these drivers really have their hands full because this track can be really, really slick. But as you see, we're going to be racing this one well into the darkness. The lights will come on, and these drivers will gain a little bit more grip. But that also means the pack's going to tighten up considerably, Will.
Yeah, here tonight, Tyler, I expect these drivers to come shooting out of a cannon here in tonight's race. As I mentioned, this is the cut race, the elimination race of the SimRacerHub.com playoffs. We move into the Fast 12 next week. Tyler, this is one of the drivers that is on the cut line right now. This is Sean Hamilton in this 89 machine. Him and Tim Hamilton right there on that line. I do believe it's going to be one of those two drivers I believe will make it into that next round.
Yeah, that's Sean Hamilton's 89 machine. He's right now -5 from the cut line behind Brian Chu, who's the last driver currently inside the top 12 in points. His teammate Tim Hammond, who will also be teammates next year for Mission 1 Esports, he is -2 as we look at that playoff grid now. And you see Kerry Tribute, only driver locked in, but I think, Will, we can essentially pencil in Nathan Maurer, Jason Morales, Justin White, maybe even Brady LaBeouf, Robbie Richards, considering the field's only going to be about 28, 30 trucks tonight. As long as those drivers make it to the end, I see those drivers advancing. But drivers who have to be worried about finishing this race and doing well, Adam Newbert, Cody Knott, Chris Blanchard, Raul Meza, Brandon Broadfoot, and Brian Chu, last drivers in. I think those 4 drivers just above the cut line of Blanchard, Meza, Broadfoot, and Chu, those drivers are the ones who are most in danger as Brady LaBeouf went for a wild ride again in his qualifying lap. Tim Hammond, Sean Hamilton, Kyle Hess, those drivers can point their way in. Steve Barnett, you see down there, -32. Will, he's going to have to dominate every lap of this race tonight if he wants to advance to the Fast 12.
Yeah, right there in that 42 machine, Steve Barnett here tonight, folks. If you're watching along with us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, this is a fun race here tonight, Tyler, because it's an interactive race. As this race proceeds, you get to see drivers get eliminated from that next round. So, Tyler, as stage 1 comes to an end, we'll see Steve Barnett in that 42 machine essentially eliminated. As we cruise through the race, we might see the 86 of Kyle Hess eliminated based on a yellow flag, or we might see somebody above that cut line caught up an early wreck. They're out of tonight's race. They're eliminated based on the position of another driver. So here tonight, Tyler, it's an interactive sense where you can see your favorite drivers make it in or possibly be eliminated.
Yeah, so we're looking right now at the YouTube live commentary chat. Jeremy Morales rooting on his buddy Jason Morales tonight. Expecting big things. Hunter Parsons, though, in the field tonight, he's taking on Chris Blanchard's $50 challenge. If you do not lay down a qualifying lap start in the back, Chris Blanchard will give you $50 if you somehow win this race. So Hunter Parsons accepting the challenge, one of our non-playoff drivers. He'll start in the rear of the field tonight. Keep an eye on him. He had the fastest lap in practice so far, but right now as we look at that qualifying order, Will, Adam Newbert, last week's winner in Atlanta, he's currently your provisional pole sitter.
And I got to say, I was trying to think of a new name for Adam Newbert in that 4 machine. I was calling him the Money Man based on the results there in the month of February. He's continued here, Tyler. He always loves it when I mention his name there, talks about his results. But the 4 machine, definitely a strong driver throughout the Nazareth series. But folks, as you look at that grid on the left side of your screen here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, the drivers that are monikered in that red background are drivers that are currently out of the next round. Those drivers that are highlighted in that yellow color color. Our drivers are currently locked in, so watch out for that here tonight. Those elimination drivers, how high they get on that grid.
Yeah, also interesting to note, somehow Brian Chu fell through the gaps there. He is actually the driver on the cut line, currently second in qualifying. So keep an eye out for that 51 machine of Brian Chu tonight. He is currently 2 points ahead of Tim Hammond. So him versus Hammond is going to be, in my opinion, the battle to watch. But also, look where Kyle Hess and Sean Hamilton are in relation to Brian Chu all night long. Hess only -10, Hamilton only -5. Those two drivers, along with Tim Hammond, could point their way in over Brian Chu or over Brandon Broadfoot, who's currently sitting, I want to say, in the 13th qualifying position, or Raul Meza, who I don't know if he's put down a lap yet, but he's currently in the session, or maybe even Chris Blanchard in that 14 machine sitting back there in 12. So keep an eye on Brian Chu, Kyle Hess, Tim Hammond, Sean Hamilton, as well as the other drivers on that cut line, as the field is ready to grid up. 2 minutes until the trucks start rolling off of pit road at pace speed. Will, I gotta ask, what four drivers tonight do you think do not move on?
Do not move on. If we could possibly throw up that table here for the folks at home here at the Nazareth 360 Racing Network so that we can all look at that, which four drivers I believe will make it through, which drivers I don't believe will make it through, get eliminated here tonight as we take a look at the starting lineup. I believe, looking at that, I believe Tim Hammond might make it through in that 69. Looking at Sean Hamilton in that 89 machine. Brandon Broadfoot, if he can stay consistent, he can make it in. And Raul Meza in that 37 machine will make it in as well.
So of those 8 cut drivers that I've listed, you're going to take Meza, Broadfoot, Hammond, and Hamilton. It's
Yes,
a
sir.
very, very good picks. I don't necessarily disagree. We're going to quickly do your running order, and then I'll give you my 4. Right now, your pole setter, Adam Newbert, will lead the field of green. Brian Chu to his outside. Row number 2 has Kyle Hess and Steve Barnett, playoff drivers looking to point their way in. Kyle has a more feasible path to do so. Row number 3 includes Jason Morales, who I think we can pencil into the next round already, Will, and Tim Hammond, who has to race his way in tonight with a win or through points. Dan Hagan and Tyler Daniels, 2 non-playoff drivers, make up row number 4. Row number 5 is your regular season champion, Nate Maurer, who I think we can also pencil into the next round, and Zach Hartwick, another non-playoff driver.
Yeah, picking up the 11th position, Justin White in that 2 machine. 12th will be Chris Blanchard in that 14. 24, Brandon Broadfoot will roll off. 13th, we talked about Brandon Broadfoot here tonight. Watch out if he makes the cut line. Sean Hamilton at 89, another driver I mentioned here will make it through. Will roll off 14th here tonight. Charles Keller Jr. in that 99 will be 15th. Cody Knott in that 26, slowly but surely and quietly will get into the next round based on those points. Going to roll off 16th here tonight. The 96 of Torrey Thompson in this will roll off 17th. Ray LaBeouf, the boss man, in the 9 will roll off 18th. Robbie Richards in the 48, 19th, and Chris Cinnamon will round out our top 20.
Johnny Lyons, Brandon Bullock back in the back of the field, along with several other drivers. Those will include the likes of Kerry Tribute, already locked in. Hunter Parsons doing the $50 challenge. Ron Hunter, not in the playoffs. Jason Stevenson. Raul Meza, playoff driver, starting in the back tonight. And Curtis Rogers. And I think the drivers, the biggest challenge ahead of them tonight is going to be Raul Meza, Steve Barnett, Kyle Hess, and Sean Hamilton. So my 4 drivers I have advancing out of the 8 are going to be Chris Blanchard, Brandon Broadfoot, Brian Chu, and Tim Hammond. Well, so those will be my 4 picks out of the bottom 8. But maybe a driver we didn't talk about in those bottom 8 positions, like Cody Knott, has a bad run tonight, or Adam Newbert gets wrecked out early. Your pole sitter, that could completely shake up this entire field, Will.
Yeah, watch out early here tonight. Stage 1 will conclude 20 laps in. Stage 2 will end 40 laps, and that's 20 laps in between stage 1 and 2. And something about me and Tyler spoke about off air here tonight. The end of the race will happen on lap 85. That's 45 laps to end tonight's race. Tyler cannot wait for this thing to get going. Barney's ready, and so are we, Tyler, here. The last race, the elimination race here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series.
Yep, Adam Newbert will lead the field of green here in the SunStar Dental 200. Looking for a big race tonight for winning last week in Atlanta. Green flags in the air here. Final race of round 1 of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs as the field stays relatively 2x2 entering 1 and 2. We're not seeing a big spread out of the field, but we're looking at 3 wide already in turn number 1.
As Newbert takes us down the backstretch right now. Things are very frantic pace. No single file lines here tonight. Adam Newbert now trying to block the top side. Brian True trying to get to the inside. Not going to happen though. Adam Newbert will take us around 3 and 4.
Turn 1 and 2, rearing its ugly head. You saw drivers plummet through the field, including Kyle Hess, Torrey Thompson, Donnie Lyons, and Robbie Richards, all having trouble getting off turn 2. They lost a ton of spots. Kyle Hess already down 14 spots. Adam Newbert leads lap number 1 here tonight in the SunStar Dental 200. I think that's an aptly named sponsor for tonight's race, considering I just had wisdom teeth surgery last Friday, Will. So shout out to SunStar Dental for sponsoring tonight's race here at Auto Club Speedway. You see Brian Chu make a slide job move up 2.
Oh, things are getting crazy already down the backstretch right now. Chu in the 51 machine is unleashing the beast, and that Monster Energy machine down into 3 and 4. Our new race leader trying to block all 3 lanes off of 4.
Yeah, but the driver who needs to dominate early on is already moving his way up towards the lead. That's Steve Barnett. He's sitting in second position ahead of Adam Newbert. Doesn't have the draft, though, down the front straightaway. Trying to get in line. He'll go to the bottom here in 1 and 2, most likely. Rest of the field pretty single file, but this battle for the lead with 4 trucks is great.
4 laps into this race right now, 3 laps in that 42 machine. Barnett now to the inside. Brian Chu off of 2. We're going to drag race down the backstretch right now. Adam Newbert will get a front row seat to this battle as a 42 machine, though, is going to take that draft to the back bumper of Chu down to 3 and 4. See if he makes a move. He will not, as we have a huge move. That's Tim Hammond at 69, now up to 3rd.
Big slide job, but he loses all momentum off the corner. Adam Newbert's going to go the crossover move down the front straightaway. They're going to be side by side, and now Brian Chu's going to try and break the draft. He goes down to the bottom and through the apron. Steve Barnett follows. That helps Adam Newbert out, hurts Tim Hammond a little bit. That also brought other drivers such as Jason Morales and Dan Hagan to the party in front. Meanwhile, back up front side by side for the race lead. That's Barnett and Brian Chu. They're going to go single file down the back straightaway.
Yeah, you can tell exactly these drivers know what's on the line here tonight. Here on the West Coast at Auto Club, these drivers know it's the elimination race. You're going to see big money moves right now. We're going to ride on board as we're going to have a battle for the lead on the front stretch. Steve Barnett, oh my goodness, almost makes contact with Brian Chu in the 51 down into corner number 1.
Thought about side drafting, did not get alongside as well as he could have. Adam Newbert, meanwhile, side drafting Tim Hammond and Jason Morales now pulling into the picture for 3rd. But the battle up front rages on. Barnett running the lower lane, Chu running the higher lane. I think it's going to help Brian Chu out here on the long run, saving some tires.
Right now, Brian Chu looks like he may have drinking one of those new zero sugar OG Monster Energies, because right now he is dialed in down to 3 and 4, doing a great job of holding down that lead position. He is under fire though for the 42 of Steve Barnett as we come around 3 and 4 here tonight. Tyler, it is positional battle after positional battle. Everything is crazy from the drop of the green flag here as we're another lap in the books down to corner number 1.
That was probably Steve Barnett's best 3 and 4. He's starting this corner level with Brian Chu as they enter 1 and 2 this time by. Brian Chu's going to have to go around the outside. Steve Barnett dives to the bottom. Can he get himself clear early enough? No, he can't. Brian Chu back to the outside here as they come off 2. Steve Barnett still not clear. They'll be side by side down the back straightaway.
Drag racing here at Auto Club down to corner number 3. The drag racing champion here in California is definitely Mr. John Force, but right now these drivers are trying to make themselves known here. Drag racing down the backstretch, still side by side around 3 and 4. Now Adam Newbert's trying to make it 3-1. Oh my goodness, so close there. Even Mr. Keanu Reeves would nod to that move from Adam Newbert there. The Matrix here at the Auto Club.
Hammond to the outside of Barnett, now battling for second. The battle between Barnett and Chu has let the field close in, and that's going to happen well into the nighttime. Tim Hammond going to try to go the long way around to the outside of Steve Barnett. Morales to the bottom as they go through 1 and 2.
Jason Morales is hippity hopping his way up to the top in the Easter Bunny colors here tonight in that 5 machine. Now to the inside of the 69. Tim Hammond trying to put the 5 on the podium here tonight. He'll do just that here around 3 and 4, trying to battle it out here. No separation though, as Brian Chu now trying to pull away in the lead off of 4.
You see back behind this group, that's Zach Hartwick and Chris Blanchard side by side for the 6th position. Meanwhile, side by side for 3rd still Jason Morales, Tim Hammond. So they're going to race door to door down towards turns 1 and 2. Morales just miles away from Auto Club Speedway from California. He's trying to get a win on essentially his home track here tonight. Meanwhile, still out front, Brian Chu, Steve Barnett 1-2. But I think Barnett may have hurt his tires going to the inside for Brian Chu for as long as he did, Will.
Ooh, as Tim Hammond now pulls to the inside lane, trying to use the draft of the 5 machine of Jason Morales trying to catapult his way up to the top right now. Now door to door for a second. Tim Hammond's going to inch that nose just in front of Steve Barnett for second position as we're off of 4. Tim Hammond now side by side for second as we'll cross the line. 9 laps into corner number 1.
And this is exactly what Brian Chu wants to see, this battle for second and third and fourth behind him. That allows him to pull away ever so slightly, minimizes the draft they get. Tim Hammond should be well clear. Steve Barnett, can he get the slide job complete? Yes, he can. Adam Newbert now running around to the outside, 3 wide for third.
3 wide for third right now has been a constant battle for top 5 spots right now. Been a constant battle for positions all the way down the racetrack right now. Adam Newbert to the inside of the 69 around 3 and 4. We apologize for being too excited. Only 9 laps into this race, but we know what's on the line for these drivers here after stage 1. We'll already have a big group of drivers that are eliminated. We almost had a big group eliminated right there as a 24. Brandon Broadfoot's just slipping and sliding his way around this racetrack right now.
That would have been a big wreck for 2 drivers around the cut line, Brandon Broadfoot and Sean Hamilton. But Hunter Parsons working on his last to first challenge tonight. He's already inside the top 10. Oh, he's 11, just outside the top 10. But now the lead 6 gets single file for a side-by-side battle for positions between 2 good buddies, Justin White and Nathan Maurer.
And Tyler, as we're settling into stage number 1 right now, I feel like coming off of corner number 2, that could be our disastrous corner. We'll watch right here as we come off of 4 down the front stretch. We'll go into 1 and 2. Something, as Brian Chu just had an awful exit of 4 right there. I believe he may have scraped the wall just a little bit. But watch right here, Tyler, as we exit 2, how bottlenecked we get going down that backstretch.
Yeah, the bumps are really bad on the bottom of 1 and 2. And also on top of that, it is going from a bank corner to the flat back straightaway. The front straightaway has a little bit of banking, can help you. But down there on the bottom, you can get really loose in some of these trucks coming off of 2. As you see Steve Burnett make a move to the inside, try to get position. Oh, Jason Morales! Morales hard into the wall!
Jason Morales, Tim Hammond just got tangled up down the backstretch. No caution on the racetrack. This could be disastrous for the 69 and Tim Hammond there. No damage from that truck. They're going to lose a lot of position on the racetrack all the way down to 20th. As we'll check out the instant replay right now. Call me Nostradamus. Call me Mystic Mac up here in the booth. I predicted this coming off of 2 exactly as you were explaining it there, Tyler. Jason Morales coming up the track, feels the draft coming from the 69 there, and you see exactly how it plays out right now.
Yeah, it looks maybe like a bit of netco. Have to get a rear view shot. Meanwhile, up front, you're not missing a thing, folks. It is single filed out. Adam Newbert took the lead last time by, but it is a single file train right now up front for the top 6 or 7. It'd be interesting to see maybe some netcode happen between Tim Hammond and Jason Morales. Morales hard into the inside wall. That's significant damage. That might be terminal for his truck. Meanwhile, still back up front. Yeah, this will be a great view. Let's see what happens here. Maybe truck back because this is not Barnett. Closes the door. Looks like maybe Hammond came off the wall a little bit, and Morales was just a victim to the inside.
Yeah, we'll watch right now as we're riding on board with Tim Hammond in that 69. You're going to see no damage to that 69 truck here. As you're going to watch that contact.
Morales might have came up, and Hammond came down both and just met in the middle, and it all went away from there. So unfortunate end for Morales early on, but nice thing is Troy Thompson is already behind him. So these drivers now competing. This significantly hurt Hammond. He is now 13 seconds back. But you see the battle for the lead raging on. Continues. We get back hopefully to live action now. Should be on lap number 14. You see the leaders there. That's Adam Newbert, Brian Chu, Steve Barnett, and Nathan Maurer has moved himself up into the 4th position. And look who's there. Starting from Mr. Last position, Hunter Parsons all the way up to 6th.
Yeah, and I believe what we're looking at there, Tyler, just a second ago, was the pass for the lead. Adam Newbert, now our race leader here tonight down the backstretch. Brian Chu, we saw him valiantly battling for the lead there. Unfortunately, had to relinquish that to the man that has been on fire here across the Nazareth Series, the 4 machine, Adam Newbert, now trying to hold it down here with just about 7 laps to go here in stage number 1. Make it 6 laps to go now.
Yeah, that's huge for Tim Hammond. Meanwhile, you look back for stage point battle. Brandon Broadfoot, Kyle Hess, Sean Hamilton, 10th, 11th, 12th. Guess what? Only one of them is going to get stage points unless they get by Zach Hartwick and Dan Hagan, 2 non-playoff drivers ahead of those groups. So, pretty interesting battle. We got to keep our eye on as we come to 6 laps to go here in stage 1. But back up front, Steve Barnett look to the inside of Brian Chu. He's going to side draft a little bit. Nate Maurer's going to side draft Steve Barnett. Battle up front's heating up again. Meanwhile, Adam Newbert comfortably out in front. But this racing is just getting started, folks. Oh, we saw. Oh, who's that got loose way up top? That's Justin White gets really loose. Brandon Broadfoot's going to gain 6 spots. It seemed almost one corner. Slide him into 7th. Kyle Hess 8th. Sean Hamilton 9th. Those 3 playoff drivers, only one was in the top 10, Will. Now all 3 are in the top 10.
Yeah, they're all battling it out for those last remaining playoff positions right now down to corner number 1. These drivers now starting to settle in just a little bit now into this stage. Tyler, not starting to see that frantic pace we had, but there is a frantic pace right there for the 3rd as you almost had contact between Nathan Maurer and Steve Barnett in that 42 machine. Now Nathan Maurer will follow back behind the 42 down in the corner. Nope, that was just for a second. He's going to use that draft now to go to the inside here, round 3 and 4.
I think the main thing is Maurer's looking for clean air to the nose of that beautiful Chevy Silverado there, allowing the corner a little bit better than everyone else around him. It might be a Ford, correction. But it's about getting clean air in the corners, not getting caught in dirty air, and being able to manipulate people around you. Meanwhile, though, these drivers have gone single file. Let's go back to that playoff battle for around 7th position. Right now, Brandon Broadfoot side by side with Kyle Hess, it looks like. Kyle Hess to the inside through 1 and 2. Maybe got clear off the corner. Yes, he did. Kyle Hess now leads that second pack that's behind the top 6 there. You see Kyle Hess, Brandon Broadfoot, Justin White, Sean Hamilton. That's important to keep an eye on. Kyle Hess started minus 10 behind Brian Chu. Brian Chu currently up in the 2nd position, but he's got company to his inside. Steve Barnett's trying it again.
Yes, Steve Barnett in that 42 machine. I was just about to ask you here tonight, Tyler, does he have to win this stage as well as win the race to make it into the next round?
I think he has to win both stages and win the race in order to get in on points. And it helps that Tim Hammond is already having a bad night. I think Jason Morales is still safe. He had a pretty big points gap coming into it, but it really hurts Tim Hammond back in the 24th position.
Yeah, right now Nathan Maurer, though, is trying to erase all those what-if scenarios now to the inside of the 42 on the entry of 3 and 4. Right now, the 971 of Nathan Maurer was our regular season champ here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Went on a streak of 3 wins in a row. Cooled off just a little bit there, Teller. Now trying to get reheated here in these playoff races.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Brian Chu is really struggling off the 4. You're seeing his truck get loose a little bit more each lap. Maybe wasted his tires early on. Adam Newbert's been able to control this race since then. Doesn't help he's running in the exact same lane as Newbert. Probably wants to cool off those right rears here. So he'll be looking forward to that stage end. As you see, Steve Barnett's all over the back bumper of Brian Chu. We have just under 2 laps to go in stage 1. And that battle playoff spot, Brandon Broadfoot now outside the top 10, while Hamilton and Hess are both inside the top 10. Broadfoot side by side with Dan Hagan.
See a side-by-side battle right there. You saw Steve Barnett dig to the inside as well into 3 and 4. Going to have 1 to go here. Crossing the line. Stage number 1 here from Auto Club.
Yep, final lap here in stage number 1. Barnett really needs to get by Brian Chu. It's only 1 point differential, but he's looking to gain points on everyone else ahead of that cut line. Meanwhile, back in the pack is the battle for stage points. That's between Sean Hamilton now and Brandon Broadfoot, as Hagan's gotten by both of them. And I gotta be worried about Chris Cinnamon now. Chris Cinnamon could steal both of them, knock both of them outside the top 10. Meanwhile, Kyle Hess has come on strong. He's looking for the 5th position here on the inside on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Chris Cinnamon feeling some good mojo coming off a win in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series on Friday night. Trying to have another good week here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series right now. He's going to bring an end to stage number 1. Adam Newbert in the 4 will win stage number 1 here tonight from Auto Club.
Adam Newbert wins stage 1. Brian Chu 2nd. Steve Barnett 3rd. Nate Maurer 4th. 5th will go to, I believe that was Chris Blanchard. Kyle Hess gets 6th over Hunter Parsons by just a hair. Justin White will finish 8th. Dan Hagan 9th. And Sean Hamilton will steal that 10th and final stage point here in stage number 1. So the field gets a little bit tighter, Will. It's going to be interesting here for stage number 2.
No, it really does, Tyler. And I think right now, as we watch Adam Newbert come around here to essentially celebrate this stage 1 win, Adam Newbert's already locked in essentially into the next round. I think with this stage victory, we can mathematically go ahead and unlock him in. Didn't get it done with that win last week in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. But I think here now with this stage victory, mathematically locked himself in. But here tonight, Tyler, when we come back from break here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network, we'll have to take a look at which drivers are now eliminated from the next round.
Yes, we will. Well, we'll hit a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back, and we'll talk more about your playoff picture. And we're back here in the SunStar Dental 200 after stage number 1. And I think, Will, looking at our playoff picture, we were talking over the commercial break, we can officially say Nate Maurer and Justin White will be moving on to round number 2 of the playoffs tonight. But right now, Will, you are joined with Tim Hammond. Tim was involved in an earlier incident with Jason Morales. We looked at a couple of replays. Tim didn't necessarily seem like anyone's at fault. It looked like maybe you slightly came down, but it looks like Morales also may have came up a little bit. Morales goes to the inside wall and hurts him a little bit more than you. Now you got the stage caution. How are you feeling?
I have my opinions on that situation. I'm not sure why I would get dive bombed and then a slide job up out of 2 on lap 13. I'm not pleased with that move. Jason's not at fault at all. I hate that I got into him trying to check up from not hitting the 42, but only had 25 seconds of damage. Really needed those stage points here tonight to secure my place in the next round, but just gonna have to dig ourselves out of this hole.
Yeah, my buddy Will we were talking in the booth. We can't really eliminate anyone yet from the playoffs, but we're obviously hoping you can make a very aggressive comeback here. Wishing you the best of luck here in stage number 2. Will, you have any questions for Tim Hammond before we let him go?
Yeah, Tim, what do you think's going to get it done as far as getting into the next round? Now you have that uphill battle. What kind of gambles or anything that you think's going to get it done to get into the next round?
Well, something we can look at is 2 tire stops there closer to the end or something. Gain some track spots. But this restart here is going to be huge for me. I feel really good with the truck. Had a good qualifying run, so before that incident, it felt really good. So we'll see. Now we got 4 fresh tires, damage fixed. We'll see how it feels. Awesome.
We appreciate it. We'll let you go, my man, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, guys.
Big shakeup in the field, though, as we come back to green. Right now, your race leader, that's Brian Chu. Nathan Maurer to his inside. That's row number 1. Row number 2, Steve Barnett, Chris Blanchard. Row 3, Kyle Hess, Hunter Parsons. Row 4 is where you'll finally find your stage 1 winner with Dan Hagan and Adam Newbert. Row 5, that's going to be Justin White and Brandon Brothos. We're green flag again. Brian Chu gets a great jump here to start stage 2. By the time we get green flag, or once we got going green there, Will, we're only going to have about 16 laps here in stage number 2.
Only 16 laps here in stage number 2, as we already have a side-by-side battle here on the Apex of 1 and 2. Brian Chu, Nathan Maurer, the 971 machine I talked about, was our regular season champion here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Definitely one of the strongest racers in the field. But watch out also for that 14 machine of Chris Blanchard, also in the mix, up to 3rd here tonight.
Yeah, Chris Blanchard moving up to 3rd. He's looking for just a solid finish tonight to lock himself into the next round. I think if he gets a couple more stage points tonight here, stage number 2, we can pencil his name into round number 2, the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs. But he's got Steve Barnett still fighting to stay alive by a thread here to make round number 2. But he's going to need to win this stage, or I think we can officially put an end to his championship hopes.
Yeah, it's definitely heating up for that 42 machine. Definitely heating up for a lot of drivers on the racetrack right now. Steve Barnett needs to get that motor turning in the right direction. Right now under fire, though, from a lot of different drivers right there for that podium position right now, as we have the top 5 battle about to go 3 wide around the corner.
Yeah, 3 wide, almost 4 wide there. Parsons, Barnett, Blanchard, 3 wide off of 4. They're going to make it work this time. Meanwhile, Brian Chu, Nathan Maurer still single file front. Kyle Hess looking into the picture now, looking for a top 5 spot. Adam Newbert kind of just biding his time. He's got Dan Hagan, a non-playoff driver, with him. So a couple of non-playoff drivers up here mixing it up with the playoff contenders.
Yeah, we've seen that all throughout tonight's playoffs, as that's getting just too close for comfort there, as the 15 just rode right up on the 42 of Barnett there on the Apex of 1 and 2. Not on the backstretch here, 27 laps into this race. We've seen it throughout. We went to Atlanta. We started off these playoffs as well. These non-playoff drivers are still motivated, even though they're not racing for a championship.
4 wide for 2nd here. Sorry, Will. We had a 4 wide for 2nd. Chris Blanchard's going to slide in the 2nd spot. Brian Chu going the wrong way fast. Steve Barnett holding serve here. Brian Chu's got to be careful. That's Kyle Hess getting by him on the outside. That's a contentious position for those two. Kyle Hess came into the night -10. Brian Chu +2 on the cut line. Obviously, Chu did well there in stage number 1. But Kyle Hess doing well here in stage number 2.
And folks, that pink 15 machine on your screen here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, that is the 20 of Hunter Parsons. 15 on the track, 20 in your programs at home. Now battling his way up into the 4th position. He was the truck that took it 5 wide.
Yeah, Hunter Parsons trying to do the last to first challenge. Extra $50 goes to the winner if they didn't put down a qualifying lap. He's right now the only one inside the top 10 having that success. So, interesting to point out. Another very close there between Hunter Parsons and Nathan Maurer. Will, I totally forgot to mention, Raul Meza, playoff driver, 23rd right now. He is more so not safe at the moment in time. He only came in, I believe, plus 12 or 15 in the playoffs. He is really struggling tonight, Will. He might be a driver who gets knocked out.
Yeah, and that's very unfortunate. Also, Cody Knott in that 26 machine, down 9 spots, down in the 25th position. Might be one of those drivers that was in the green, might be shifted into the red based on these results here tonight. Who knows what's going to happen here tonight? Drivers coming into tonight's race that were comfortable in their lazy boys, thinking about next week's race. And now all of a sudden has to get in that gamer position, as I like to say, Tyler, where you lean a little forward, you lock yourself in. Now is go time here in stage number 2.
And look, he's trying to get the lead again. Steve Barnett trying to go to the inside of Chris Blanchard. Wasn't able to get the job done on Brian Chu in stage number 1. Can he get the job done on Blanchard here in stage number 2? Yet to be seen. But he's going to go all the way to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Try to get a bid run and then come up inside draft that 14 machine down the front straightaway.
Barnett right now in that 42 machine, he's trying everything he can to try to advance into the next round. Right now having the best race of his season, fighting for that lead position. He is ahead of all those other trucks that are on the cut line. It still might not be enough for that 42 machine. Right now, battling for the lead.
He got really loose on the bottom, loses all his momentum. He's going to fall back to 3rd.
Whoa!
Big dicey move there from Adam Newbert.
Adam Newbert just swung that tail right in front of the 3 of Chris Cinnamon. I talked about Chris Cinnamon's success here in the last couple of days. Wins the race on Friday night. Now coming into this Monday night race, trying to do the same thing as we're going to cross the line here, make it lap 32 down to 1.
Yeah, that's a non-playoff driver there, Chris Cinnamon. As you finally see Brian Chu's name there in yellow, driver to keep your eye out on tonight, rest of the way. Meanwhile, Steve Barnett lost some track position, now battling with your regular season champion Nathan Maurer for 3rd, but that's not where he wants to be or where he needs to be as we have just 9 laps to go here in stage number 2. But the battling has been intense here in this very, very short second stage, which you should probably expect with how aggressive these guys have been from the jump, Will.
Yeah, Parson out to the back bumper of Chris Blanchard in that 14 machine. There is no time to breathe here tonight. I know folks don't like it when commentators get too excited too early, but here tonight, Tyler, every lap, every stage means something into the next round of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs. For some of these drivers here, it will come down to each and every lap here tonight.
Hunter Parsons completing the last to first portion of his challenge. Now he just has to win the race, but Chris Blanchard's going to try the crossover move down the back straightaway. Gets a big run from that high line. Going to go to the bottom here in 3 and 4. Try and clear himself up just like Parsons did in 1 and 2. He'll do so easily. Maybe Nathan Maurer will fall through. No, Blanchard gets loose here through 3 and 4. We might be 3 wide for the lead.
Ooh. There's sandwich action coming off of 4 right now. Hunter Parsons finds himself in the danger zone lane right now as we head down to corner number 1. Still 3 wide racing right now for the lead.
Yeah, if you want to know who would have led that lap if it was the final lap, Nathan Maurer by a 100th of a second over Parsons and Blanchard. Meanwhile, back up front, though, they're still battling aggressively. Adam Newbert there also has joined the party, as is the drivers already locked into the next round. Kerry Tribute looking for more playoff points, so these drivers are trying their hardest. Important to note, good news for Jason Morales fans everywhere. Tyler Daniels has disconnected from the server, so he'll gain 1 more spot there on track. He'll also gain, he's already got a spot over Troy Thompson, so his playoff hopes, although maybe hurt, still alive, and if more drivers fall out of the race, then you may see Morales moving forward. So we may have a replay here of the Tyler Daniels incident.
Watch right now what happens. There's Ron Hunter in the 30. There's Tyler Daniels in the 95. Just going to get loose off of 2. Ooh, hard contact on the inside wall. Looks like he's just what we like to call a rage quit there, Tyler. Just had enough of the session here tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to get back live. So still showing the replay where we went 3 wide for the lead just a moment ago, and that was a great battle. But now we're back up front with the leader, still Hunter Parsons. But now you get Adam Newbert back up front, battling for the lead. He's got Steve Barnett to his rear. Kyle Hess back there in the 6th position. Brian Chu's lost a lot of momentum from where he was early on. He's kind of sandwiched in right now between Hess, Hagen, White, and Cinnamon. No real place for him to go, and that can be definitely a frustrating place as a driver. We see Jason Morales slow around the bottom here, about to get put another lap down, but he's just looking to make laps and get a couple more points here tonight.
Yeah, I wonder if our wonderful producer can give us a shot of Adam Newbert's cockpit there to get a first-hand point of view what that 4 has to deal with, how airtight it is on that top side lane. You're trying to make positions, you're trying to move around the racetrack there, Tyler, but it's so airtight. We're going to ride on board with that 4 right now, that cockpit point of view. And you see right there, Tyler, as we're riding on board, how tight it is to try to get around this racetrack.
Yeah, it really is, and these drivers have a lot going for them. So the wheels just really, really difficult. You know, these drivers, it's going to get loose and tight throughout, so it's going to be a challenge here. Morales, meanwhile, has to worry about making minimum speed. So Morales may not have made minimum speed yet. So we may see him pull off the racing surface. He's been warned by race control. Meanwhile, back up front, though, Adam Newbert gets to the inside of Chris Blanchard here as we have 4 laps to go in stage number 2. Make it 3 laps to go as we cross the stripe. These drivers are battling hard for every position they can get.
Yeah, as we're going to watch a truck head down pit road, that looks like that's Jason Morales in that 5. Jason Morales having a tough go of things here tonight, folks. We saw him bring out what should have been the first caution of the night, but that's okay. We kept it moving. We kept it grooving. Him and Tim Hammond got entangled down the backstretch there. But right now we have a battle for the lead as Adam Newbert in the 4 machine is going to hard charge his way to the inside of Parsons there in the 15. He has 20 in your programs, 15 on the racetrack here tonight as a battle for the lead rages off of corner number 4.
Yeah, and you see Steve Barnett get side by side Blanchard. Newbert makes the pass work off of 4. He'll take the lead. Parsons looking to fight back. Nope, he's going to stay in line. Pit lane is closed. 2 laps to go here in stage number 2. And this pack is as tight as it has been all night long. Maurer looking to make it 3 wide there for 4th. Kyle Hess to the bottom.
Yeah, Kyle Hess to the bottom, Parsons to the bottom, and Steve Barnett to the bottom as well. That 42 machine trying to find a partner, trying to find somebody to work with. Nathan Maurer trying to ride the danger zone lane. Is going to ride the draft off the 42 machine. Right now, though, Adam Newbert in the 4 machines trying to regulate like Warren G right now as we come off of corner number 4, make it 1 to go here in stage number 2.
And Adam Newbert has officially checked out, I think, with the lead tonight. Adam Newbert looking good to go sweeping both stages. Officially, you can probably pencil his name in if he can complete one more great lap around the Auto Club Speedway and win this stage. And meanwhile, the battle rages on there. You got to keep your eye out for Kyle Hess. He's trying to point his way in over Brian Chu. Brian Chu going the wrong way fast. He's currently 10th right now on the racetrack. Meanwhile, Kyle Hess currently 8th, a few spots over him. Hess needs every point he can get tonight over Brian Chu after losing some points to him in stage number 1.
Everything could come down to this final corner right now for a lot of these drivers of whether or not they're going to advance to the next round. We know who will win stage number 2. That will be Adam Newbert in the 4. Steve Barnett will try his best, but it will not be enough as Adam Newbert sweeps the stages here from Auto Club.
Yeah, and we'll get you your stage results real quick before we hit commercial break and then come back for the thrilling conclusion of round number 1. Your stage results are Adam Newbert 1st, Steve Barnett 2nd, Hunter Parsons 3rd, Maurer 4th, Hagen 5th, Blanchard 6th, Justin White will be 7th, Kyle Hess 8th, Terry Tribune 9th, and Brian Chu getting that last stage point in 10th. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back to discuss playoff positioning, and maybe a few more stories, and maybe we'll even talk to a driver we believe has just locked himself into the playoffs, Adam Newbert. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back as pit road is a very, very busy place here in SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. You see pit stops here, ending stage number 2, getting ready for stage number 3. Will, we talked about over the break, we're not really willing to say anyone's out of the playoffs just yet, but I think we can pencil in Adam Neuber, who just won the race off pit road, as in the playoffs round number 2 after dominating stage 1 and 2 tonight.
Yeah, looking at those point standings here tonight, we can all but lock in Kerry Tribute, of course, winning the first race of round number 1 at Richmond. Nathan Maurer, the 971, lock him in as well. Jason Morales, although having a hard night here tonight, was third coming in tonight, 44 points above that cut line. He will advance in the next round. Justin White in that 2 machine will advance in the next round as well. We'll see him at Watkins Glen. Brady LaBeouf in the 9 machine, the boss man, will advance as well. Robbie Richards in the 48 in as well. Adam Neuber in. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers in here tonight, Tyler, with the rest of the drivers with still work to do here in these final 45 laps.
Yeah, it's going to get really tight because drivers like Cody Knott, Raul Meza have not had great nights. Neither really has Tim Hammond obviously hasn't had a great night. Sean Hamilton now all the way back in 19th with Robbie Richards. But Brandon Broadfoot running in the top 15 most night. Brady LaBeouf running in top 15. Kyle Hess running in the top 10 in both stages. Those 3 drivers may have done enough to race their way in as we see the field getting ready, going 2 by 2. Well, stage 3, we say it's going to be just about 40, 41 laps, but we're hearing from drivers from practice that fuel strategy was only going to be 34 to 37. So, Will, are we going to see maybe some different strategies here to maybe win and lock yourself into the next round of the playoffs?
Well, I think we got to go back to that Tim Hammond interview at the 69 machine where I asked him about what type of gambles do you have to do to make sure you advance in the next round. He talked about 2 tire pit stops. He talked about quick fuel stops as well. So, Tyler, if that's just one driver willing to make some gambles, watch out for the rest of the field of what they're going to do as well.
And yeah, if you look at drivers like Tim Hammond, Cody Knott, Sean Hamilton, Raul Meza, Robbie Richards, drivers who are further back in the field, need to make something happen to make sure that they're into the next round. They really, really need to try something different because it has not worked so far tonight. We saw Sean Hamilton had a great stage 1, got a stage point out of it, but nowhere to be seen in stage number 2, all the way back here in 20th position to start stage number 3. So keep your eye out for some of those drivers in the playoffs who are further back in the grids. We're about to go green flag racing stage number 3. We'll have 41 laps here to the finish. Rating your way to the green flag: Adam Neuber, Hunter Parsons, Nathan Maurer, Justin White, Chris Blanchard, Steve Barnett, Dan Hagan, Brian Shute, Kerry Tribune, and Kyle Hess. Your top 10, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Neuber gets to the Geico restart zone, gets on the gas, and he is off like a rocket here to start stage number 3 in the final race of round 1 in the SimRacerHub.com playoffs. Harry Tribune around. That doesn't really affect the playoffs, but Chris Cinnamon around as well. 2 drivers off track. That is huge early on, but we stay green. We'll have to see if we can get you, ladies and gentlemen, a replay of what happened there between Cinnamon and Tribune, because that was out of nowhere as we have the on the pole instant replay. Will, just out of nowhere here, I heard radio chat, there was a wreck, and, well, here it is, and it looks like big run by Cinnamon. Tribune comes down. Why is Tribune so far off the pace? Looks like he's down on power, and, oh, Cinnamon just clips the wall there, Will.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate for Chris Cinnamon in that 3 machine. As coming off a win Friday night here tonight, Tyler was trying to have that good luck keeping it going through St. Patrick's Day. Unfortunately, not going to be the same result here tonight.
Yeah, Kerry Tribune currently down pit road. He is getting damage repair. Something must have happened there on that restart. So, yeah, thankfully, he won the opening race here. As we're going to try to get you back to live racing up front. You see Adam Neuber and Hunter Parsons kind of pull away. Field got more spread out because of that incident up front. You're going to see these drivers get single file early on, but that really does help drivers like Kyle Hess, who's right now sitting in the 5th position, battling with other drivers inside that top 10. Brian Shue along the likes. You see Nathan Maurer fell way back there on that restart. He's all the way back in 9th. These drivers pretty much spread out, way more spread out than we've ever been early on in a stage. Looking throughout the field there, Cody Knott has moved up only to the 19th position. Ronald Mezzo, though, up to 14th in a position he needs to be in. Tim Hammond all the way back in the 20th spot, playoff driver, not having the race he needed tonight to make it to the next round. But back up front, Steve Barnett has closed the gap to the leaders. He's to the inside of Hunter Parsons. They're side by side as they enter 1 and 2. Meanwhile, Adam Newbert's going to hold serve on the outside, but can Barnett clear him? Get the lead here. He's clear right now. He's got to make the move up quickly. Can he get it done here off of 2?
Steve Barnett looks like he's going to clear Adam Newbert off of 2 right now as we were single file down into corner number 3 right now as the battle rages inside the top 3 as we come off of 4.
Dan Hagan, Mr. Where did he come from? He's to the inside of Adam Newbert in 3rd position. He's looking for 2nd now. Steve Barnett got a great run through 3 and 4. He is many, many truck lengths clear now of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place drivers. But those drivers will slowly reel them in thanks to the draft down these long California straightaways. Meanwhile, back in the 5th position, you have Chris Blanchard with Kyle Hess, Brady LaBeouf, and company behind them, and a big pack of about 6 trucks.
As we're in the thralls to the closing stages here in round number 1, race number 3, we're going to give you the sights and sounds of Auto Club here as we close out round number 1.
As we take on lap 53 into corner number 1 here on the NASCAR 360 Racing Network. Again, this is race number 3 of round number 1 in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs here tonight, Tyler. We have a limited, I would have to say, a couple drivers, just maybe a couple 53 laps into this race right now. Down the backstretch, things still rage on for not only the race win, but to secure those last spots in the next round.
Yeah, Steve Barnett and Dan Hagan have not been happy with each other over the driver chat, talking about slide jobs. None too pleased. Meanwhile, throughout the field, Tim Hammond also none too pleased seeing Steve Barnett up front for the race lead. But back here, the battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th is raging on with Kyle Hess, Chris Blanchard, Brady LaBeouf, and Adam Newbert. Don't forget Brian Chu and Brandon Broadfoot there inside the top 10.
Yeah, right now, as we're going to see things still 3 wide, things are getting a little dicey right now. We saw things a little calm entering into the last pace of the race, but now these drivers have the same amount of laps they had to deal with there in stage 1 and 2, just above a few laps. But now here tonight, Taylor, do you believe we're going to see some green flag pit stops before this thing is over?
But the way that these guys are running tonight, I think you may see drivers have to stop for fuel here at the end of the race. Dan Hagan, currently your race leader, controlling that race up front, has a 2-truck length lead over Steve Barnett. If I'm Steve Barnett, stop trying to make the pass. Just ride around, save some fuel, maybe take a little bit less on that final stop, do a splash and dash here at the end of this race. But I think that you're going to see drivers sitting further in the pack, deeper in the pack, maybe lifting early, really taking advantage of the draft that they're getting, like drivers such as Brady LaBeouf, Kyle Hess, Brian Shue. But you're going to see a lot of these drivers try deferring strategies down here at the end. Do they maybe even split this final stage in two and try and get 4 fresh tires? We're just going to have to wait and see how this unfolds here.
Yeah, right now we're just above 31 laps to go here in this race. It is absolutely crunch time for a lot of these drivers right now as we're watching this race settle in. A few of the drivers we saw dominate this race now not at the top of the grid. Of course, we're going to probably see that reshuffling of the grid here happen pretty soon. Right now, the movers and shakers at the beginning of this race now trying to shake their way up to the top of the grid as we close out round number 1.
Yeah, this side-by-side battle for the lead is going to give the opportunity for Hunter Parsons and Adam Newbert to close that gap to those leaders. They were about, half a second off those leaders. But as long as these front two keep running side by side and racing each other the way they are, Hunter Parsons is going to close that gap quickly. And he already has, well within 0.4 of a second now, within a straightaway alone. And he'll bring the rest of that field with him when they get him.
And now, Tyler, I'm going to ask you right now, is the 42 machine of Steve Barnett still leading the way here? If the 42 machine does go on to win this race, of course, you're going to put some money on your pocket. The average win rate's around $60 to $70. You're going to put that in your pocket. You're going to feel pretty good. But does it take away from the fact that even though you might win tonight's race, you won't advance in the next round? Is it kind of a 50-50 win for him here tonight? He wins, not in. Is there any sadness that comes with not getting into the next round, even though he wins here tonight?
There definitely will be maybe some frustration realizing that, circumstances had been a little bit different, had a better finish last week at Atlanta like Adam Newbert did. He may not be in the position he's in, and he could have advanced, but, that's just how racing goes, unfortunately. Obviously, life got in the way of that week 1 race, but week 2, he raced and just didn't have. There's always, we see a truck in the wall. I'm not sure who that is. A little bit further back down there in the grid.
48.
I think it's Robbie Richards. If that 48 machine was in the wall there. Be interesting to see how that affects the handling of that truck there later on. But getting back to what you were saying, well, I mean, it'll feel a little bit shallow, but when you get that $60-$70 for that race win, it'll probably go away pretty quickly.
Yeah, that'll feel pretty good right now. Sean Hamilton trying to make a move on now the impaired 48. Robbie Rich trying to hold on to that position. That's a position just outside of the top 10. Now we're going to jump back up to the top of the grid. Right now, watch Hunter Parsons trying to battle it out with the 39 of Dan Hagan right now. Hunter Parsons has worked his way up inside the top 3 of 22 spots from the drop of the green flag. Now down the backstretch, Hunter Parsons does have a little bounty out here tonight. Tyler trying to cash in as well.
Yeah, that $50, if you did not run that qualifying lap and you win the race, you get $50 courtesy of Chris Blanchard, Blanchard's Towing and Recovery. So a little bit of a bounty given by the driver of that 14 machine, but Steve Barnett is going to try and make sure that Hunter Parsons does not get that bounty. Try a crossover move after Parsons slid up off of 4. They're be side by side. Look who that brought into the battle, Adam Newbert. I've been saying all night, well, you get side by side as a leader, you're going to bring people in. Tim Hammond's in for pit stops.
Yeah, Tim Hammond's in the pit road right now, but we have a 4-truck battle for the lead right now. None of these drivers want to give up on the lead right now as we're down the backstretch, seeing a moving and shaking crossover moves being happening on the backstretch right now. Still being held down by Hunter Parsons, but he's under fire right now from Steve Barnett in the 42. Adam Newbert's on the top side. He has Dan Hagan falling on his tail as well, as we're 3 wide for a second. Now we have Steve Barnett heading down pit road.
Yep, pit strategy is coming into play, ladies and gentlemen, and fast. Tim Hamlin was the first driver to break the seal. It looks like he's going to get 4 tires and 4 tires and fuel, and we're going to wait and see how much Barnett and Blanchard take, as well as Jason Stevenson also down the pit road. So, seeing the dominoes fall. I'm surprised to see that Hammond went 4 tires and fuel and not a different strategy. So, we'll have to see how everything unfolds here. See how long Barnett and Blanchard are on pit road. Well.
Yeah, with 25 laps to go, Tim Hammond in that 69 machine, it could just be to make sure he has the most speed at the most opportune time. That 69 machine is one of those drivers that are right on that cut line. But right now, we're watching other drivers down pit road. Leader still out right now with 25. Make it 24 laps to go as you cross the line down to 1.
Yeah, that's 4 tires and fuel for Blanchard and Barnett as well. Barnett will be the first one of that group off the pit road. They're both going to go lap down temporarily, but once everything cycles back out, you see Jason Stevenson also came down with that group. So everything cycles out, pit stops have occurred. You'll see everyone cycle out relatively similar positions, but I think those drivers on fresh tires, especially Steve Barnett's going to come back into the pack. He's going to have the advantage of the draft here as well. I think Steve Barnett may have worked this strategy to perfection.
Yeah, Steve Barnett and the 42 machine been very strong here tonight. Been one of the top dogs of the race here tonight. Just hoping to get that 42 into victory lane, but a little bit loose there off of 4. Still very, very tight up here at the top of the grid. Now just waiting for the leaders to head down pit road. We're assuming they'll all pit together as more trucks head down pit road here with 23 laps to go.
As the 2 non-playoff drivers, Donnie Lyons and Curtis Rogers coming down for their service as well. So stage number 3 has occurred here. Everyone's trying to make their moves, but I really think the advantage is going to end up being to Steve Barnett. Dan Hagan is saying he's going to pit this time, so he's going to try and get down to the bottom here. Kyle Hess will come with him as well. Cody Knott is going to pit as well, so let's see who's going to be aggressive here on pit entry.
And right now, Dan Hagan's down
Hunter
pit road.
Parsons in as well.
Yeah, Parsons down as well. Hess down right there in the 86 machine. Newbert stays out. Justin White and the 2 machines still out. Nathan Maurer still out. And Brian Chu still unleashing the beast. And that 51 machine still out as well.
Wow, what a move there by Kyle Hess, gaining spots there, getting in front of Dan Hagan, coming down pit road, getting slowed down in time. Hunter Parsons is going to get 4 tires. And Maurer's going to pit this time. That's why you're going to see him drop way down low. Slow truck, I believe that's Chris Cinnamon there on the bottom. Brady LaBeouf call down pit road as well this time by Sean Hamilton and more. So pit cycles are in full swing. Let's see if Adam Newbert comes this time. Nope, he stays out.
And just like a craps game that will happen here in the streets of California, we are just shaking up the field here tonight. We let them go down on the ground. Hopefully one of these drivers will shake out and take the pot here tonight. Who will it be here with 22 laps to go? We'll have to wait and see with all these reshuffling, the shaking and the dicing of the grid here. This is what green flag pit stops give us here. Tyler will watch and see which driver will win and which drivers will advance as well.
Steve Barnett came down. He has a sizable gap over Hunter Parsons, who was the first off pit road that time by. Brady LaBeouf said he was coming down pit road last time. He did not. He's going to try again this time. Maybe he had an issue getting on pit road. But I think it's going to be interesting to see because we have to look at that gap between Barnett and Parsons. It's almost a full 1.5 seconds now. There's a lot of ground to be made up there, and I think Parsons is going to have a hard time doing it, chasing down that 42 machine unless we get a caution.
With 20 laps to go, we're close to not only closing the chapter on round number 1 of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series, we're close to also closing the basically the book on Auto Club Speedway. Unless we revisit this racetrack next year, Tyler, this will be it from this wonderful 4-wide, 5-wide Speedway here tonight. But right now, we're waiting and seeing Raul Meza in the 37 right there. A lot of these drivers still hoping and praying for that last playoff spot here tonight with 19 laps to go.
Yeah, if you're Raul Meza, you're hoping for a caution. Same with Ron Hunter, Hartwick, Brandon Broadfoot, Brandon Bullock. They've made their beds at this point. Top 5 still yet to pit. They're really hoping the caution comes out here. I don't see it happening. The field is so spread out. Hunter Parsons is 2.5 seconds behind Steve Barnett, who, when this whole thing cycles out, Barnett's going to be the race leader. And barring a caution, I don't see anyone catching him. And we're going to have a situation, in my opinion, where it's possible Steve Barnett wins this race and does not advance.
Yeah, and what a disappointing finish it would be for the 42 season. Of course, can race it throughout the rest of the go here in these playoff races. It just won't feel the same for that 42 truck of Steve Barnett, especially coming off what could be a win here tonight. But I know the boss man of Brady LaBeouf, that 9, has some fans watching along with us here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network as well. And you check out that 69 machine of Tim Hammond still in the mix as well there, Tyler. So a lot more things to see play out here with 18 laps to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be battling for those small late positions. You see Brandon Broadfoot there sitting in the 4th position, still hasn't come down pit road. It's been 42. He last pitted on lap 42. We are on lap 67, so he's got about another 10, 15 laps on this fuel tank he can go. He can try and maybe stretch it out to the end. I just don't know if he can get the job done stretching the fuel that much, but we're seeing all the chips fall, and it looks like Steve Barnett may have pulled out the right strategy. He has almost a 3-second lead over Hunter Parsons.
Yeah, right now, as watching this race essentially just come, to a conclusion here tonight at Auto Club. Raul Meza, our race leader, Ron Hunter right there. But Tyler, you just touched on it. They haven't headed down pit road yet, so essentially you can wipe their names off the top of the grid. That's along with Brandon Broadfoot in that 24 machine, Zach Hartwood in that 6. Then you get down to Steve Barnett, and then you look at what the field looks like after Steve Barnett, Tyler. Looking at Steve Barnett down in 5th, Hunter Parsons in 6th, Kyle Hess, one of those drivers we talked about on the bubble, right now currently would be 3rd on the racetrack. Based on all the reshuffling, that would lock in the 86 in the next round.
Yeah, Raul Meza coming down for his service right now, so he gives up the lead to that 30 machine to Ron Hunter, and he slides through his box, and wow, that's going to be a costly mistake for the 37 machine. Looks like he'll come in for 4 fresh tires and a full tank of gas. So things are still shuffling. Ron Hunter currently your race leader in that number 30 machine. Brandon Broadfoot second, a playoff driver, but he's on an alternate strategy here from the rest of the field. We'll see how long he can last out there. Sort of see Donnie Lyons, I believe, unlap himself throughout the field. So definitely interesting watching these battles. Steve Barnett's now caught up to some lap traffic. That's the 99 to Charles Keller Jr. That may slow him down a little bit, but still has almost a 3-second lead over Hunter Parsons.
Yeah, right now as we're waiting for that grid to reset, Ron Hunter is still our race leader. We'll just wait for him to head down pit road. We'll leave Brandon Broadfoot as our race leader in the 24 machine. Then Zach Hartwick would be the next driver out on the racetrack with 15 laps to go. If all shakes out the way it's looking here tonight, Steve Barnett in the 42 will be our race leader with a significant lead. You touched on it just a little while ago there, Tyler. Almost 4-second lead now for Steve Barnett in that 42 machine. If he wins the race here tonight, doesn't make it into the next round, that will be more disappointing than LeBron James and the LA Lakers has been the past 6 years.
And it's kind of fitting that we're in LA that would happen. You mentioned that, Will, and that's been a huge disappointment for that city. But right now, it's definitely played out in a really unfortunate way for Steve Barnett. He really just needed to have a better race last week in Atlanta. Got caught up in a wreck, got 0 stage points, finished really poorly because he got caught up in a wreck, and that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Meanwhile, the battle for second when everything cycles out is going to be fantastic. The second, eventually, through like 6th, are all in a straight line. Hunter Parsons, Kyle Hess, Nate Maurer, Adam Newbert, Brian Chu are in a train of 5 trucks, and they're actually really in Steve Barnett pretty quickly, Will.
Yeah, right now we're looking at around 13 laps to go here tonight to close out round number 1 here in the SunStar Dental 200. Making sure all those pearly whites stay white. We need to make sure these drivers are smiling heading into the next round of the playoffs here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs. Again, if you've been liking what you've been watching here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we invite you to go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow to stay up to date with all the iRacing action that Nazareth provides. Tyler, I believe we're going to go on live about 4 nights a week now here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Then combine that with our weekly podcast. You'll get all the iRacing action you can want here across almost every night of the week.
Yeah, Adam Newbert may have just cost these guys a chance at running down Steve Barnett. They were running him down pretty considerably. That gap, I think, is closing, although maybe the gap is still coming down. They're within a second. They should be getting a whiff of his draft here in the next lap or so. So it's now a second gap between Steve Barnett, Hunter Parsons, Adam Newbert, and that pack of about 5 trucks. And Brady LaBuff's trying to reel in that pack, but he's about a second and a half off of Kyle Hess and Brian Chu. So Brandon Broadfoot, now your next driver to pit. So still Ron Hunter and Zach Hartwick out front. Brandon Broadfoot, will not be able to make the distance. We'll see if he maybe just goes for fuel only and tries to get back out. But Newbert and Parsons are closing in on Barnett. It's under a second.
Yeah, we'll watch this battle pursue right now as we're counting down the laps here at Auto Club. Still Ron Hunter, Zach Hartwick. As we mentioned, two drivers who have yet to head down pit road. Just maybe getting comfortable at the top of the grid. Sometimes you just want to lead a couple laps here tonight, Tyler, especially Ron Hunter in that 30. Feeling pretty good up there in those all blue rims here tonight. Look at Zach Hartwick in that 6 as well. Pretty good looking paint scheme. Maybe getting a little air time. Now, the 6 machine, Zach Hartwick heads down pit road.
They've caught Barnett in a very mad dash of 6 trucks side by side here in a big pack. Steve Barnett's been left out to dry. Hunter Parsons to the inside. Adam Newbert to the inside. Nathan Mauer's going to go with him. We're 3 wide here into 3 and 4. Almost contact there between Newbert and Barnett. But Hunter Parsons is going to take the lead.
What a hornet's nest, what a dog's pack, what a wolf pack of drivers this is coming down the front stretch right now, being led by Hunter Parsons in that 20 machine. Ron Hunter still our race leader. No business there, though. All the business is right now within these 6 trucks on the racetrack. Tyler, it's a hornet's nest of who could be our race leader with 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Ron Hunter's down pit road, so this is your battle for the lead here with these 6 trucks. Steve Barnett's getting dropped from this group quickly. Came out too early down pit road. His tires have given up on him. Meanwhile, it's Parsons, Newbert, Chu, Mauer, and Kyle Hess, your top 5 right now. Kyle Hess has done pretty much everything he needed to do tonight to hopefully point his way in. Problem is, Brian Chu's just has been as good, if not better, tonight. Brian Chu currently sitting in the 3rd position. Adam Newbert, he's locked in. Hunter Parsons, he's not racing for points. Nathan Mauer, he's locked in. These 3-4 guys up front, they're racing for a win right now. Well,
Yep,
they're going to give it their all.
Sean Hamilton at 89 just broke inside the top 10 as well. Driver right on the bubble coming into tonight. Now locked inside the top 10. Watch out how that plays out. Has Chris Blanchard right there as well. No, about a 4-second gap between him and Chris Blanchard. So right now, Sean Hamilton at 89 has locked himself inside the top 10.
Yeah, meanwhile, the battle up front continues to rage on side by side. Parsons hits Newbert. Parsons gets hit by Chu. Chu into the wall. That's huge for the playoff implications. Kyle Hess is going to get by. Steve Barnett's going to get by. Parsons makes a horrible mistake here late, and that's going to cost Brian Chu many positions and maybe even a playoff bid into the next round. Chu is significantly damaged. I do not know if it's terminal.
We'll have to queue up that replay here in the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. Still on your green here. Closing stages of this race. That is heavy, heavy damage to the front right side of that 51 machine. Definitely might have to retire. Never mind racing out the rest of this race. Now Turtle walking down the backstretch.
Meanwhile, Mauer side by side with Parsons. We're going to see this battle, though. Battle throughout the back straightaway between Parsons and Chu. It's going to really happen off of 4. I'll keep everyone updated with how I'm talking through the battle for second. Adam Newbert's gotten out to almost a 2.5 lead, though. Mauer's taking over second. You're going to see Parsons come up, almost hit Newbert. Maybe does hit Newbert, and then Brian Chu's just a victim there.
Oh, yeah, I think I did see contact with the 4, Adam Newbert, who was leading the race, not enough to affect the 4, but you definitely do see him swing right up into Brian Chu on the top side.
Yeah, Parsons just lost the handle of the truck. We'll get a better view here from Brian Chu. Yep, slight contact, and yep, Parsons was just never going to make that corner without running into Newbert, and Chu was the victim there on that one. So a little bit of an overdriving situation. Meanwhile, second place, Nate Mauer. Kyle Hess has moved up to 3rd. Brian Chu has come down pit road, and this is going to significantly hurt his chances here. He is now 21st on track.
Yeah, right now.
Tim Hammond might get in.
Yeah, Tim Hammond might get in the 69. Look at Raul Meza up to 12th. You look at Sean Hamilton up to 9th right there. Steve Barnett in the 42. You can all but eliminate his chances here tonight and moving into the next round. But right now, we still have to crown a winner of the SunStar Dental 200. Right now, Adam Newbert still leading the way in that 4 machine.
Yeah, Brady LaBeouf to the outside of Hunter Parsons there for a spot inside the top 5. He should get it here off the corner. Parsons' truck significantly slower than it was early on. Robbie Richards, Steve Barnett should get by him. But race leader, that's Adam Newbert. He has a 1.5 second lead over Nate Mauer. But the battle there for 3rd between Justin White and Kyle Hess. Kyle Hess to the outside, just 5 laps to go.
in what should have been a mathematical locked-in position. Adam Newbert, last week's winner at Atlanta, should have locked himself in, but based on the amount of races he raced during the season, didn't get it done. Wins here tonight, he'll lock himself in. Could have done it with that stage 1 victory based on the math there, Tyler, but with a win, you can all but pencil him in. Gonna pencil in a few more names here as we close out this race. Looking at the names of Sean Hamilton in 89, you can all but pencil his name in. Kyle Hess in the 86 machine, pencil his name as well. That'll leave but just 1 or 2 spots here with just a few laps left.
Yeah, Tim Hammond will not get past Brian Shu in points because Brian Shu had so many stage points. So Brian Shu would stay above Tim Hammond for sure. Brandon Broadfoot running 15th. He may have fallen outside the top 10 with the way that Kyle Hess and company are running. Hamilton up in the 7th position now, getting by Hunter Parsons and Steve Barnett. But look at your new second-place driver. That's Justin White. He's only a second behind Adam Newbert, but running out of time here. 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, throw up those 3s. Rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we got 3 laps to go here at Auto Club as Adam Newbert takes us down to 1 and 2. Got Justin White in the 2 right there. Nathan Maurer in the 3rd position as we're closing out round number 1 here in these playoff races. I'd have to say, Tyler, our podium finishers right now have been the top 3 drivers here in this series.
Charles Keller asked Adam Newbert where he wanted to go. Adam just doesn't respond. Makes it way riskier than it probably needed to be, but he gets the job done around the lap truck of the 99 of Charles Keller Jr. Slow him down a little bit. Justin White, though, is still a second back of Adam Newbert. I don't think he has enough time. 2 laps to go here in the SunStar Dental 200. Adam Newbert, your race leader. Justin White, 2nd. Nate Maurer, 3rd. Kyle Hess, 4th. Robbie Richards. Mister, where did he come from? He's inside the top 5. And then there's the boss man, Brady LaBeouf, sitting there in 6th.
Again, with 2 laps to go, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight to the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. I have been William Tiller. Been joined here tonight by Tyler Detmer. It's been Adam Flieger giving you all the wonderful shots here tonight. We're going to close out the race here tonight with 2 laps to go as the leaders take us down to 3 and 4.
Yep, 2 laps to go. Looking for the white flag is Adam Newbert. He just needs to get to that white flag, and it's home free because he's got no one in front of him. Justin White's going to try and close the gap, but it's too little, too late. Leads under a second, but he will not get there in time. White flag is out for your race leader, Adam Newbert, here as he enters 1 and 2 for the final time.
We're going to ride on board with Justin White in that 2 machine as he's trying to chase down our leader, Adam Newbert, as we're coming off of corner number 2 right now. Down the back stretch, you see Charles Keller Jr. in the 99 trying to beat a blocker for the 4 as we're down the back stretch, down to corner number 3.
Yeah, it's just over half a second. Maybe if the race was 5 laps longer, Justin White gets to Adam Newbert, but he will not get there tonight. Adam Newbert is going to sweep here in the SunStar Dental 200, win stage 1, win stage 2, and he will win here tonight in Auto Club to put his stamp on the round 1 here in SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs. Adam Newbert wins at Fontana.
Get out those brooms and those dustpans. Adam Newbert is cleaning it up here tonight, just sweeping away the competition, sweeping stage race. Is stage wins here tonight, wins last week as well, goes back to back here in the playoffs when it matters the most. The 4 machine is a man on a mission. Shout out to Denzel Washington because that driver is a man on fire here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series.
Yes, he is figuring out a way to get the job done tonight. Adam Newbert doing what everyone figures he would do here in the playoffs after dominating the end of the regular season, and that is winning races here in the playoffs, setting himself up for success in the next round, which includes the only road course on the schedule this year for these drivers here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Be a new challenge for a lot of these guys, but tonight, Adam Newbert, your winner here in the SunStar Dental 200s. We're going to watch him burn it down here in Fontana.
And Tyler, as we watch the Ford machine Adam Newbert burn down those Goodyear Eagles, now trying to match the win total of Nathan Maurer, the 971 machine. Taking a look at these official results now here from Auto Club. Tyler, take us through there. And I know one thing, we were watching Adam Newbert burn it down here. I was taking a look at my paper here. Tim Hammond in the 69 machine will finish a lap down here tonight. Essentially will be eliminated. But go ahead and take us through those official results.
Yeah, official results here. Adam Newbert, your race winner. Lock him into the next round. Justin White finishes second. Lock him into the next round. Nathan Maurer, third. Lock him into the next round. Kyle Hess in fourth. I don't want to say it, but I think we can lock him into the next round. Just have to do some math here. Robbie Richards, he's pretty safe. Lock him into the next round. So that's 4 definite yeses out of that top 5. Add Brady LaBeouf there in 7th. Sean Hamilton finishes 6th. We're not 100% positive about him yet either. Hunter Parsons 8th. Steve Barnett 9th. Raul Meza 10th. We can eliminate, in my opinion, Barnett and Hammond immediately. So that's half of your 4 drivers eliminated tonight. Gone. Meza, Raul Meza, where does he finish tonight? He finishes in that 10th position. No stage points, came in +8. Kyle Hess came in 18 points behind Raul Meza. He gained 8 in the stages. Kyle Hess finishes 6 points ahead of Raul Meza, so he will not get past Meza in points. But, we have to look at other drivers who may have gotten by Meza in points. Brian Chu gains 10 stage points, but he'll finish behind Raul Meza, so he is out of that running ahead of Meza. And I think this is a good way, Will, for us to figure out who may have made it into the field based off of Raul Meza's finish tonight.
Yeah, looking at Raul Meza in 10th. So you can look down the grid. You can look at Brandon Broadfoot in the 14th position. You can look down the finishing grid as well. You can look at Cody Knott. Cody Knott can be locked in as well. Got some other drivers. Tim Hammond's out of it. Brian Chu right there. It's going to be very, very tight to see. It's going to be narrowed down, I would have to say, Tyler, when it's all said and done, when race control sits down, gets out their calculators, try to do their equations, I think it's all going to really boil down to one final spot. And who that driver is that gets in is yet to be seen.
Yeah, can we... I believe Sean Hamilton finished 6th. Brian Chu finishes 23rd. So that's 17 positions between them. There's only 9 stage points. So we can put Hamilton over Chu. And with that, I think we can eliminate Brian Chu from the playoffs.
Wow. A lot of math to be done here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network. A lot of math to be done here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. But we'll step aside for just a short break. We'll be right back for the post-race recap show and our interview with our podium finishers.
We're back live here from the Virtual Auto Club Speedway in virtual Los Angeles, California, here with your SimRacerHub.com Truck Series post-race show. Tyler Dimmer here within the booth. Call the race in action tonight. Will Tiller Well, I've been trying to do some math, and all I can say is I know Raul Meza has made it to the next round, but other than that, I really have not a clue who's in and who's out, other than maybe that Barnett and Hammond are out.
Yeah, we can essentially say that we can say the two drivers are eliminated, Steve Barnett and the 42, who essentially had to come out here tonight, win both stages, and win the race. Get a very great effort here tonight, Tyler. We'd have to say hats off to the 42 of Steve Barnett, basically laying it all on the field, so to say, here tonight. 69, Tim Hammond again runs into bad luck as always for the 69 machine. I have a personal connection to the 69 machine to Tim Hammond, a friend of mine off the racetrack. Trying to hype him up before tonight's race. Again, runs into that bad luck down the backstretch with Jason Morales in the 5. So, two drivers essentially eliminated there. There was 4 drivers going for what could be said 2 playoff spots there at the tail end of that grid there, Tyler. So, who gets in, who's not in? I could say also Kyle Hess is in, locked into that there. Very tough to say who else makes it in. But we did have a race here tonight from Auto Club here in the SunStar Dental 200. We had some podium finishers as well, and I believe you're catching up with our third place finisher, Nathan Maurer.
Yeah, Nathan Maurer, Tyler Dimmer here in the NASCAR 360 Racing Network booth. You get a third place finish tonight here in the SunStar Dental 200. Just really need to keep the truck clean all night long in order to lock yourself into the next round officially on points. I believe you did so at the end of stage number 2, Nathan. But looking forward to next week as the regular season champion. First and only road course of the season here in a 2-race round. What are your expectations for Watkins Glen?
It's my second favorite road course in the NASCAR series. Well, Roval being number 1. I don't know. Roval's probably number 1. Watkins Glen number 2. I seem to have good luck there. I do a couple different other leagues we race there, and of course some of the guys' road ratings like 35, 4,000, and sometimes I beat them, sometimes I don't. Depends what kind of day I'm having. I don't know. I'm sure there's some heavy hitter road course guys in here, and pretty much just going to use those playoff points like I did in this round, just kind of taking it easy each race. Yeah, just gonna, I don't know, if I can get a top 10, maybe a couple stage points next week, I'll be happy just to keep my way motoring on.
As you mentioned, you had those playoff points. Obviously, being a regular season champion, coming in with a pretty hefty amount of those playoff points. Has that allowed you to kind of just take this first round kind of cautiously, not really have to put yourself in any bad positions, but still racing competitively here at the end?
Oh my, I have no stress whatsoever every night getting in here on Monday nights. So I'll probably start worrying towards that final round there, the round of 8. I don't even know. I just had to ask Adam Newbert where the championship race was. I don't even know where the championship race was. So hopefully we can be there in a couple weeks.
Of course, Nathan. And, you mentioned, obviously, one of your good buddies, Justin White, also moving on to the next round. But we saw a lot of contention from some drivers trying to, be competitive towards the front. We saw Steve Barnett and Tim Hammond, I heard over the driver's radio, getting a little bit contentious with each other. Do you think that these emotions and these intensities just going to ramp up as we get throughout these playoffs?
Oh yeah, I mean the best of emotions got him there. I mean went back and looked at the replay. Tim, you're a great guy and everything, but I would not blame that on the 42 at all. It looks like the 42 cleared him, and Tim just kind of reacted and turned down. The 5 was there. But oh yeah, it's yeah, and you got people pissed off right now because you got a guy running up front that's not racing for anything, and you got Brian Chu who's he really needed them points there. He probably didn't make it to the next round because of that. He just got taken out. I mean, it's playoff racing. It happens to everybody, and emotions are always high.
Well, we thank you for your insights and obviously wish you the best of luck going forward throughout these simracerhub.com playoffs. But before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank, Nathan?
Shout out to everybody that's showing up here every week. All the drivers, the ones that were not even mathematically. I mean, all the guys that weren't even in the playoffs, they're still showing up. We need that. Guys that just part timers showing up. We need them. Without a field full of drivers, we have no viewers watching the stream because it'd be boring and be boring for you guys. So big shout out to everybody still showing up here. A shout out to you guys up in the booth, and big shout out to Brady for running a great league, man. I ran again Friday, and two great truck leagues.
Well, we thank you for spending some time with us chatting again, Nate, and we wish you the best of luck in the future. But again, want to congratulate you on the third place finish tonight, and wish you best of luck next week at Watkins Glen.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good night.
You as well, Nathan. I believe Will Tiller now standing by with their second place finisher. Good buddy of Nathan, Justin White.
Yeah, joined by now Justin White in that 2 machine. Justin, you have just been Mr. Consistent throughout here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series again, picking up another podium finish here tonight in what was a very fast, frantic, and chaotic race with all those playoff spots on the line. You were all but locked in the next round. Justin, take us through your race here tonight and how you were able to lock down that podium finish.
The plan, well, I mean, I knew it was 40 points to the good. I knew that if I had a bad race and finished last, and then a couple, guys got some stage points, that I'd be looking on the outside, looking in, and I didn't want to do that. So I knew if I got stage points in stage 1 and 2, which I think I got 7th both times, so that's 6 points. That puts me 46 points to the good, and I knew at the last stage that I could. Crew chief was and spotter was in my head or ear, and he was telling me what to do, or trying to encourage, kind of run the back what we did stage 1, stage 2, save the tires a little bit and let them stay kind of relatively cool by running on the top, not putting as much wheel into it, and then when it comes down about 15, 20 to the end of the pit run, just to take off and start running that bottom, let it settle on the bottom and then take off, and that's what I did, and I made up a ton of spots, and I needed 3 more laps. I think I could have got him with 3 more. I was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, we saw the 99 of Charles Keller Jr. basically being a blocker there at the last part of this race. But Justin, in that 2 machine in a race that essentially I don't think had any on-track cautions. Justin, I was going to ask you, how do you keep your focus on the task at hand? As you just mentioned, you were about 30 to 40 points to the good. How do you not look past this race to look at Watkins Glen next week? What really kept you focused into this task at hand?
Josh Ball, my crew chief, pit spotter, he kept me focused in, because Watkins Glen, I'm gonna struggle. I'll be the first one to tell you I hate road courses in any Cup, Xfinity, or truck, any NASCAR vehicle. I don't believe they belong there. I believe we should bulldoze them if NASCAR vehicle's going on them, because I absolutely hate them. I despise them, and nothing's going to change my mind. I've tried to get better at them, and I struggle. I'm just not a road guy. So luckily we're going to one of the easier ones, Watkins Glen. But I mean, Charlotte, I'm putting Watkins Glen, we're going to see what we can get out of that, take as many points as we can. But Charlotte, that's my jam. That right there, it's a very technical track. People think it's just a cookie cutter mile and a half, but until you get behind the wheel of a truck at Charlotte, it's very technical. You got to make sure you save that right front tire, especially in 3 and 4. So that's where my eyes are staying at right now. So Charlotte, getting a decent finish there, and then just a mediocre finish at Watkins Glen, hopefully not last.
Yeah, Charlotte's definitely a sneaky track indeed. It's a track that everybody knows, but not everybody can master. In Watkins Glen, you're going to go uphill and downhill a lot next week. But here tonight, going to finish second. Like I said, Mr. Consistency here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Watch out for Justin White in that 2 machine, maybe a championship favorite down the stretch. But Justin, you finished second here tonight with that podium finish. Was there anybody that you'd like to shout out here tonight, or any sponsors that made this finish possible for you?
Yep. Shout out to Josh for being spotter crew chief, Josh Ball. Shout out to Nate, Robbie, Sean, and Tim being in the chat, Discord chat with us, for making each other fast every week. Shout out to Grinds Coffee Pouches. They help me kick the chewing tobacco habit. Getgrinds.com. They'll get you set up and get you on your path to not relying on nicotine and tobacco to live, and hopefully you won't end up having cancer or something like that from that ugly stuff that you get addicted to.
Well, Justin, what an awesome sponsor that is indeed. Go check them out. Grinds on the side of Justin White's truck here tonight. But Justin, we appreciate you taking the time with us here tonight. Second place here in the SunStar Dental 200. Cannot wait to see what you can squeeze out of Watkins Glen next week. We appreciate it, my man.
Yes, sir. Squeeze it like an orange. Get what I can.
That's it. That's Justin White in that 2 machine. Now, I believe, Tyler, you're being joined by, I guess we have to moniker him a new nickname. He was the money man, but now he is the race winner of the SunStar Dental 200 here tonight.
Yeah, I am now joined by your race winner, the number 4 Adam Newbert, with the Sick With It Motorsports number 4 Toyota Tundra. Adam, back-to-back wins, exactly the type of momentum you're looking for in the playoffs, getting the job done. really just putting your stamp on this race tonight, winning both stages, getting the race win. How'd you get it done, and what did you think of that chaos there late with Hunter Parsons and Brian Chu, playoff driver?
Well, first off, I guess we just had a good race. Showed the speed again tonight. Like you said, we're carrying the momentum. 2 wins in a row. Did exactly what we wanted to do after we missed the first race in the playoffs. Came into this race plus 12. Just wanted to get an extra bit of cushion, so we went after stage wins, and we got both of them, and we won the race. So that was good. I think somebody's gonna probably kick me out of this series eventually if I keep winning. I don't know. Yeah, and then Hunter, just a bonehead move. I mean, I just got to be honest. That's just, you're a part-time guy. There's guys out here trying to make the playoffs. You've burnt your tires up. You got to know that, I don't know. You just got to know that your race is over and stop trying to make something out of nothing. And cost my teammate a great finish. We probably would have got 1-2 or 1-3, 2 or 3. Cost my teammate a great finish right there. Probably maybe have cost him a shot at advancing to the next round. So that's kind of a bummer. Hopefully we'll see the points here pretty soon and know if he made it or not. I don't know. Just bonehead move.
Yeah, you mentioned we could definitely see the intensity ramp up early on in this race. Stage number 1, we saw Steve Burnett kind of slide up in front of Tim Hammond, and Tim Hammond, Jason Morales get involved in an incident. Morales, terminal damage. His truck was out early on. Playoff driver. I don't know if you ever looked back at the replay of that incident at all, if you had any thoughts on that as well. But do you expect the intensity to just get more and more and more throughout these playoffs, especially going to a road course and then a track everyone knows in Charlotte for the last race in the second round?
Yeah, it's going to pick up. Watkins Glen, it's going to be crazy. I'm not very good at road courses. Don't expect me to be up front. So yeah, the intensity. These guys that are on the bubble racing for these elimination spots and racing to get into the next round. You saw it tonight. There was a lot of aggression out of these guys trying to get up here. Worked out great for us because these guys just go by and they just race so hard, man. And they race so hard, and y'all see it, and they just burn it up, and then we pass them right back. Stage 2, at the end of stage 1, I slid through my box on the pit stop. I always do that for some reason. And then restarted back in 8th, and then just kind of rode back there and let them all race. And at the end, we were just able to get right back in the lead and win the stage at the end of the stage. So, but to answer your other question, yes, the intensity is going to pick up as we go along here.
Yeah, I mentioned I did see you start back a little bit further there, second stage, because you slid through that box. But I'm glad you pointed out that drivers were losing their stuff. So we saw Steve Barnett battling for the lead a lot of stage 1. His tires were gone by the end of it. You were able to drive by both of those leaders, Brian Chu and Steve Barnett, there at the end of stage number 1, and you made it work here in stage number 2. And obviously, again, at the race at the end, getting by Hunter Parsons and everyone else that you did. Would like to just point out that you, sir, are just on a tear. Haven't finished outside the top 10. I have no clue when. You've won 3 of the last 4 races, I believe, outside of Karachi winning your off week. I mean, what are you doing that makes this happen? Are you just getting lucky coming to tracks that you really like, or you just get into these sessions, put in the work, or are you putting in extra work outside of these sessions here?
Some of it's getting lucky. A couple of them have been getting lucky. I think some of it's just the speed that we've had all season long, but every single, the first 10 weeks of the season, I missed a few races in the first 10 weeks of the season, but then there was other races like at Texas and Phoenix that we should have won. We should have won both of those races. Those would have been back-to-back wins for us. Texas, Sean Hamilton won that on fuel mileage. Phoenix, there was a late race caution. I had that race wrapped up with like 5 to go. There was a late race caution that, and then bad pick call there at the end of that race. I think, those tracks that we were really fast at had some bad luck, and then, I don't know, we're just getting the good luck now. I think we're just getting everything to go right, and then executing better, putting together better races, staying cleaner during the races, knowing what situations to put yourself in and what situations not to put yourself in. But yeah, I think this is 5 wins in the last 7 races, and that's including Richmond, even though I didn't race Richmond.
Yeah, it's definitely been a stretch to absolutely be impressed by, Adam, and maybe I'll share some road course secrets with you. I was able to take down Ted Wade at COTA one time in the Triple M Pulling Truck Series. Maybe I'll share some of those road racing secrets with you when I get the chance. But absolute congratulations on another win here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Before we let you guys, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'll definitely take those secrets if you got them. But yeah, thank my sponsor, Ladanco. Ladanco and Stick With It Motorsports. Got to thank the team. Just again, another bummer for Brian Shue there at the end. We were gonna be 1-2 right there. I think it was gonna be a good finish. Man, I've done forgot all my sponsors. I gotta pull them back up. I'm getting terrible at this. I should know these by memory by now. Okay, Millie's Landon, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Darren's Nug Gun Repair, First Pacific Funding, Roof Co Group, The Spatulas, The Family Handyman, Millie's Restaurant and Catering, and Millie's North. Y'all guys up here at National 360 Racing Network. I kind of made a joke during the race. I said, those guys haven't pulled me up for an interview, for these stage wins. They usually do that. They must be tired of talking to me all the time. But yeah, I got to thank y'all up here in the booth.
No, we definitely weren't tired of talking. We were trying to get the people as much lowdown on these points battles for final playoff positions as we could. Looking at them, trying to understand the stage points all night long. We appreciate your patience with us and appreciate you putting on a show for us tonight, Mr. Adam Newberg, getting the job done here in that Ford Toyota Tundra Stick With It Motorsports entry. Wishing you the best of luck throughout the remainder of these playoffs. Adam, go celebrate that win tonight.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you, sir. As well, we wrap up another week here in the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series. Round 1 of the playoffs has come to an end. I don't think we'll have official points, unfortunately, for the viewers at home before the broadcast ends tonight, but we will have everything updated by the time we go green flag next week at Watkins Glen. First road course of the season, Will, and I could not be more excited.
No, I can't be more excited either. And fans that are still watching along with us here on the Nazareth 360 Racing Network, we invite you to stay up to date on all the points information on Facebook or Twitter at Nazareth Racing on all the social media platforms. But Tyler, you just hit the nail on the head there. We're going to go road course racing next week, next Monday night here. Same time, same place. Cannot wait to see what these drivers have in store.
Yeah, and a road course that runs, I believe, clockwise, which means we'll take more right turns than left next week, up and down through the hills of upstate New York. Will, I'm excited. I absolutely adore road course racing, and I think it takes a special skill set in these trucks to get it to work.
Absolutely. I cannot wait either. Tyler, we'll have to see if Adam Newberg can make it 3 in a row.
Yeah, well, this will conclude our broadcast here of the SunStar Dental 200 and the Nazareth 360 Racing Network coverage of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series from the virtual Fontana Raceway in virtual Los Angeles, California. See Adam Newberg doing his almost patented at this point quickie Polish victory lap. Will, it's been an absolute pleasure having you in the booth with me. Looking forward to next week at Watkins Glen. We thank everyone for tuning in. We hope you all tune in next week as we begin round 2 of the SimRacerHub.com Truck Series playoffs here at Watkins Glen.